For further analysis, let's cross to Lahore, Pakistan, and speak with Osama Rizvi. He is an economic and energy analyst. Thank you so much for your time, sir. What do you make of the U.S.'s decision to sanction Russia's two biggest oil companies? Is it a signal that the U.S. is ready to take bigger moves against the Kremlin, or is this just more sort of touch-and-go policy from Trump?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. I believe it's a little bit of a tricky matter, you see, because if we look at the fundamentals, essentially, the Russian seaborne oil exports touched their highest point month on month last month in September. The oil and gas sector is still doing pretty well, but the sanctions were in place beforehand, not only by the US, but the EU and UK as well. It's a story, it's a developing story. I would say the current sanctions, if they're implemented in their true letter and spirit, can carry a huge dent, a huge impact on the Russian economy to the tune of $8 to $9 billion, actually. But that would mostly be depend upon the secondary sanctions that would hinder the likes of China, India, and Turkey to engage and buying Russian oil and gas. However, as of today, right now, the sanctions on Rosneft and Lukoil, I don't think it's that significant, or it's going to affect the fundamentals a lot. It will be business as usual, at least until the end of November.
Right. And when we talk about this particular summit that's happening in Brussels, kind of moving away from the economic piece, the EU, excuse me, is not just trying to protect Ukraine, but it's also trying to protect its own borders now with these increasing drone incursions that we have seen. Are we meant to hear more about this drone wall that was proposed a few weeks ago, and how long would something like that take, and what would the Russian response be?
Well, to be honest, war is a very expensive business, and all the sides are trying to have to reach some conclusion, be it end of the war or if it's another phase in the escalation. Drones and other such tactics, modern warfare, it gives a sort of a modularity to the current geopolitical conflicts, and also allows for precision strikes with less collateral damage. So I believe that unfortunately, this we may see further escalation on this end. The Russian response will be actually the one that will decide the future trajectory after the announcement of sanctions and everything. I think we're not going to see a very tough response until or unless the oil price tanks further below. We have to look at this aspect very closely, because 35% of the budget, 10 to 15% of the overall exports, they are energy related for Russia. And if it starts to pinch their monetary end, that would lead to further escalation from the Russian side.
And there are reports, sir, that, Europe and Ukraine are working together on a peace plan similar to what we have seen in Gaza. But it really doesn't sound, based on statements that we have seen from both Putin and Zelensky, that these two leaders are willing to give up much. What do you make of reports that we could be looking at some sort of peace plan?
Well, when we discuss such things, we also have to take into account what Robert Kaplan says, the Shakespearean dimension of geopolitics. So a lot depends upon the individuals or the personalities as well. And so far, what we have seen, these matters are very fickle, they change. I mean, nobody actually knows anything. There may be a ceasefire. Who knows, the ceasefire will hold for 1 month, 1 week. Nobody knows. So what remains to be seen is the seriousness on both sides, and what will be the factors that would make them come on table and sit together and reach some rapprochement or some sort of a solution to this ongoing conflict.
Nobody really knows anything. Appreciate that honesty there, Mr. Osama. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.